So first of all, thank you so much for making time for this interview.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
The Chinese community is not very familiar with you. Would you like to introduce yourself to our readers?
Sure. Hi, I'm Bill Smith, born and raised Calgarian. Went to Ernest Manning High School and then subsequently to the University of Calgary, where I was fortunate enough to play football with the University of Calgary Dinos, winning a Vanier Cup with them in 1985. In 1990, I became a Calgary firefighter and worked there from 1990 until 2006. Fortunately, in the year 2000, I was admitted to the University of Calgary Law School. So at that point in time, my wife and I decided that I would attend law school full-time as well as staying on the job full-time as a firefighter, and we had 4 young kids at the time. So it was a very busy time in our household, but we got through it, and we were much stronger for that. And since that time, I've been a practicing lawyer here in Calgary. I've been a community volunteer with my kids in football and hockey, coaching their teams, flooding the rink, and doing all of those, building the playgrounds for the kids at school. I was with the Progressive Conservative Association of Alberta for over 20 years, and at one point I was their president. I've been on the Board of Governors at the University of Calgary. I'm on the McMahon Stadium Society, on a leave from there right now. And I was the director of the Calgary Counseling Center for 10 years, and I was on Special Olympics for about 4 years. I think there's a few more things, but that's about it.
So very active in the community.
Very active in the community. All of my free time is spent with the community. It's still, even though our boys have finished playing football, I still go out and help coach their high school team.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. In this election, people are very concerned about the economy in Calgary. So what plans do you have to revitalize the economy in Calgary and address the unemployment issue?
Yeah, well, I think there's actually 2 parts to that. I think one of the first things that we have to make sure that we pay attention to is that as a municipality, as a city, we need to be careful about how much we're taxing our businesses, because it's our businesses that create the jobs. And if we also, on the other side of that, make it very difficult for them to do business, the red tape that we've got at City Hall, then businesses take forever to get started, and then we wind up taxing them like crazy, and the fees and stuff that we charge them are very difficult. So we have to put our business owners in a position where they can be successful. So that's by holding the line on taxes, helping them to cut through red tape quicker, so that they can hire the people that are looking for their jobs, so that they can be successful as a company.
It seems the difference is caused by the vacancy in downtown core.
Well, that's what some claim, but the real truth is that spending with the city has gone up exponentially, much higher than the effect what the vacancy rate has had. True, there has been an impact as a result of the vacancies downtown, where some of the businesses in the periphery have had to shoulder more of the burden.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is the city has been increasing spending at an incredibly fast rate.
So your message to those business owners would be?
My message to the business owners is we're going to make it easier for them to do business with the city and in the city. So we're going to hold the line on their taxes, and we're going to cut the red tape for them, because we want them to be successful.
So there was no increase in taxes?
I sure hope not. That's my goal. My goal is to not increase taxes for the 4 years that I'm in, for the next 4 years.
China has the worst records of human rights, and it uses different means to, such as the Confucius Institutes or trade, to exert its influence on different levels of government. So as Calgary continues to develop its trade relations with China, how do you think as a mayor you would balance between the economic development and the values of human rights?
Well, as a born and raised Calgarian and Canadian, I have a strong belief in human rights and the fact that everyone has the equal opportunity and should be treated in a kind and democratic manner. And I know that we have a difference of government there than we have here. But I think, the corollary to that is we also need to make sure that we can encourage business to do business here. And if the investment is coming from China, I think we need to ensure that we will not be compromising in any way, shape, or form our principles as a result of accepting that type of capital and financing.
Also, in recent years, there's increasing awareness in the international community about China's persecution of Falun Gong and the organ pillaging of Falun Gong practitioners. And it impacts a significant number of people. That would include the family members, relatives, and friends of some Calgary residents with Chinese heritage. If you were elected as a mayor, how would you use your influence to help those affected Calgarians?
I would firstly state categorically that I find that practice to be horrendous, and it is just, it's awful. Like there's no excuse for that for any reason in society, in the world. And you know, I would hope to advocate for, on behalf of people that are either their families are victims or whatever, to ensure that, you know, the rights, human rights, are applied equally to everyone.
Thank you. In northwest part of Calgary, there is a dense Chinese population, and many of them are concerned about the lack of sports facilities, public schools, and public transit. And in your platform, do you have anything specific measure to address those concerns?
Which areas, which communities
Northwest.
are we talking? Which communities in particular?
Northwest, that will be like Ward 3 and Ward 4.
Oh, so more of the central north part of the city. So there's a new facility going in Royal Oak, which will be, I think, of great value to a large portion of the Northwest. There's a new facility going in there. I do know, and having spoken to a number of folks that work for recreation and facilities for the city, that we have a situation where we have a number of facilities that have aged out. If you look at Foothills Pool and Mount Pleasant and all of that sort of central and northwest area. So those facilities are going to have to be replaced in the not too distant future. And I think when we do that, we need to make sure that we take into account the new population patterns in the northern part of the city. So it'll be time in the near future to replace a lot of things, and I think relocating them to make sure that that most people have the best access to them is what we'll be looking at.
During the mayoral debate, unity and effectiveness of the city council as a whole was being questioned, and what do you think of that?
Well, I think it's been a real issue for the city, and I think it's really held the city back on getting a lot of things progressed. One of the things that the mayor should be doing is working with each of the council members to ensure that the needs of their wards are addressed in the context of what's best for the city. And that needs somebody who can be collaborative. That needs somebody that will sit and listen to the councilors, try to understand the needs of their different parts of their wards, and then try to seek some sort of consensus in a collaborative way so that we can move the city forward. There's been a history with this council. I mean, 2 councils ago, they had to bring in a psychologist. That didn't work. And then this council, they brought in an integrity commissioner and an ethics advisor, and most of the time is spent by those folks reacting to issues between councilors. That should be handled by the mayor. The mayor is the leader of that group. The mayor has to work with them, has to understand what their issues are, and get them to work as a team in the best manner possible without demeaning or anybody.
In addition to work, do you have do you have any hobbies?
Right now, my hobby is politics, is running for mayor. I do, you know, I spend a lot of time walking my dog, Chance. He's a rescue dog. My wife and I try to get out into and go on walks all on the weekend, and we love going to restaurants. So, but most of our time up until the last year has been spent with doing things with our kids and going to their games and coaching them and things of that nature. But now they're old enough that we're trying to figure out what the next stage of our life is for entertainment.
Is to getting into politics?
Apparently that's what we decided, so.
Okay, so how is your campaign going so far?
I can tell you that it is much further ahead than I had hoped it would be.
Okay.
I have been blessed with a team of people that have stepped up to help me. They are wonderful Calgarians. They care about this city and they care about change. And I am just each and every day I get up and I'm energized just because they're in the office and they're running around and they're delivering signs and they're answering calls and they're helping me get my schedule together so I'm not late for important events like this. So it's been so incredibly encouraging and fun.
Very good. And just finally, would you like to say something to our to Epoch Times readers?
Well, I would like to say to your readers, I would very much ask for your support on October 16th and vote Bill Smith for mayor. If you need more information, you can go to our website at billsmithformayor.ca. And I'm all about three things: strong collaborative leadership, fiscal responsibility, and safe and vibrant communities. And I guarantee you I will deliver on all three in the next 4 years.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.